Jeez. Much better than it was. Take it down a little more. Guess I have plenty. we're too close. Where did you go? Minutes. All right. This guy now. Oh, wait, no, get rid of the elbow poker dude. Oops. Yeah, I'll be ready by 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Come on, Dave. 8 o'clock, yeah. All right. Daylight saving time. Oh, yeah. I'll take that. Let's save that for 10 minutes or so. This guy. Yeah. Okay. Think. Oh, yeah. If I thin this down, 10 inch, that gives me half an inch. I guess I should have guessed that. With the quarter-inch control. Need this thing, and this can be. But I don't have. I do not have. Ooh, wait a minute. Alright, if I thin this down, then I can make that the outer sleeve and this whole thing. Yeah, let's try that. That's the idea. Alright, cool. Suppose I should double check here to make sure. Okay, cool. To make sure I'm broadcasting. Got tunes happening. Okay, yeah, let's explore that idea. Daisy. So, this is what, 2 5/8? No, 2 1/8. That's right, I don't have anything I trust. These are meant to go much slower. Alright, do that part in here. Okay, so if I make this, actually if I make 2 sleeves, got the cap, it's gonna hold both of those. Or do the cap and inner sleeve. Yeah, I'll make this thinner. Cool. Yeah, just get it used to kind of that, right? Good thing I could do, and that is the lid, right? Doesn't have to fit this anymore. Okay, well, what the heck, man? 5 minutes? Yeah. Let's get started. Let me put a almost it. Crooked. Let's see how that does. A burr I don't want. Alright, yeah, let's get this thing rolling. Lock the door so I can take it in and it doesn't freeze. That works. Cool. Howdy folks, my name's Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, a better turner too. I'm always looking to be the best turner I can be. I'm willing to learn and watch and all that stuff. Anybody I want to see. I don't mind watching people turn, man. It does give me the itch, I'm not going to lie, because I really like to turn. But I learn a lot even just from watching. I really like to ask questions about process, and that's what I try to I work really hard to keep in what I teach, the process, the reasoning behind it, what I'm doing. So anyway, I also started the channel to help other turners become better turners. I really do enjoy teaching, and I have been. This will be the third broadcast with 5-part. I'm calling them 5-part boxes. You know, that's kind of throwing me off a bit. We'll just skip that guy. Would there be a better? Maybe that's a better view. So this is the box that is finished from last Wednesday. And it is, let's see, walnut, mahogany, and maple. And the inner sleeve are gilded with copper foil. So I think that it really looks nice with the design. So that was number 2 in a series of boxes that I'm doing based on an idea I saw on Shison Wood Instagram. Had a really nice 5 or 6-part box. I can't remember exactly now, but he had threaded the cap, plug, whatever. He threaded that, and then had an outer sleeve that was laser cut with pattern. I don't have a laser cutter, but I do have Dremels and other things. And then the inner sleeve, I think, was red heart, but the inner sleeve, you know, the red came out through the design that was laser cut. End caps were fitted, and then he could thread the cap on, right? So since I don't have a lathe, I've got thread turning tools. What I don't have is a lathe that goes slow enough yet to be able to practice with that. My lowest speed on either lathe that I have right now, actually even the one that's not running, is 400 RPM, and you need to be running less than that for threading to be you know, more accurate and a little more stable. 400 is just a little too fast. I have tried, but I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere real fast with inner threads as opposed to outside threads. Outside threads were a little bit easier going that fast, but inside threads were a lot more difficult. So I'll figure that out in the future. At this point, I don't have that, so I'll be making friction fit finials for the handles, and then putting them together. So that was from last week. It's a nice, cool little box. I think it came out very well. I'll set that aside. And I'm working on the third one, and just having ideas kind of run through my head here. So here's the cedar blank that I started last week. And I turned the lid, and I haven't done anything about putting a finial on it yet, or even drilling the hole yet. I'm not sure. I just haven't got that far yet, let's put it that way. So I got this started, and I had, my original thought was to have this fit there, but I do want the cedar to be outside of the box. I'm using, for the inner sleeve and the inner box part, is this Oh gosh, man, what is this? I think this is elm, and it's all beetle eaten. It's got some really cool um, beetle tracks and stuff like that, just all over this piece of wood. So a lot of that is what I'm hoping will, and I'm not sure how I'm going to highlight those once I get them all cleaned out. Who knows? Might could use ink or paint or I don't know. I don't know yet. We're not that far. So that was going to fit inside and show on the outside, and these two woods are fairly complementary to each other. So I thought that would look really cool. But I think since I've done two boxes kind of similarly, I'm going to do something different with this guy. Although the first box was 6.5 inches tall and 2 inches wide, and this last box was 4 inches wide and 3 inches tall. I guess it's 4 inches tall now with the finial. So I shortened it, made it wider now, and I kind of put them together the same way, but I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So this, at least what's in my head, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have an idea. I'm going to do my best to explore it. I do. If you get the chance, and if you're, that bird works so well. Get the chance to explore Twitch. Please check out, or Instagram, sorry. Please check out Shison Wood, Shison Wood. Chris Shison is a woodworker, turner, all that. Does some really cool stuff. But he's got like cool gadgets like laser cutters and I don't know what else. I think that's really neat stuff I don't have yet. I'm not sure that I will, but you never know. So so back to this piece, I can save those knots, or I can use them as the knot holes as part of my design. So leave all that. Got quite a few though. What I want to do is make a sleeve. The box will be a little bit thinner than that if I do it that way. Make a sleeve that will fit. This would be the outer sleeve, but it won't be. Well, yeah, this would be the outer sleeve. So that's what I'm shooting for. We'll get her opened up and see how far it takes to see. I think this box will be about, or at least this sleeve, we'll call it about 3 inches. And just to double check my accuracy. So that's 3.5. That's my palm is 4. Okay. That's enough of the line, and I think I'll give it just below that mark, so that's enough of the line. Okay, so I can see. We'll turn this light on again. Get me a little bit more light on the subject. Okay, so I'm going to thin this down a little bit more, this wall thickness. Actually, I'm going to wait on that. I'm not going to do that part yet. What I actually think I'm going to do is run some Forstner bits down the inside so I can work the entire inside surface. I want to get it as flat as possible so it'll slide over. The piece of what I think is elm. Not gonna happen. Alright, so 2.5. The shank isn't quite long enough to let me stick this out 3 inches, but the next 2 Forstner bits I'm going to use will be just fine. Actually, I can just move right on in. Alright, slow this guy down. So yeah, I wanted to do another box, and I got an idea. I want to try to get to, at least tonight, a couple of pens I'd like to turn, just to show people how that's done, or at least how I do it. There's lots of whistles and bells and gadgets and stuff you can buy for any kind of facet of turning you want to do. I myself, I have a couple, like the mandrel that I'm going to use for the pens. That's a nice, a really handy piece of kit to keep everything lined up and together and all that. But I don't own a pen press. There's several different kinds, and those are out there and available. What I started doing, because I can't remember, I think I've turned, I don't know, 40, 45 pens in the couple of years that, 8, 9 years that I've been turning. Not a lot of them, but when I did turn them, I did like, I don't know, 35 in a row. Different pen kits, pen styles, just to get an idea of, well, for one, what kind of canvas the pen blank could be, what kind of things you could do with it. Was I even interested in being a pen turner? I mean, lots of questions like that, and about process and about, do I want to, because there's a market for it. I know that or at least I hear, I don't know, I hear there are a few pen turners out there that do very well selling pens at a very nice price point, in my opinion. But I don't, and then there are people who do it at like craft fairs and stuff like that, and they'll sell the pen for, I don't know, $20, $25. And you can make a living doing it that way too. And I'm sure there are more ideas than that out there. But for me, the pen itself, the canvas of it was not as wide open, not as expansive. I don't know how to put that, because there were some contours and stuff like that you could do. There were some really nice pens that were turned by people who segmented, and I've seen segmented pens. I think I saw one that was 1,000 pieces for a pen. That's a lot of small pieces of timber and a lot of very accurate cuts and and sanding and all that stuff, which is doable. I don't have equipment for that, and I really didn't want to invest in it. Those are the ones that are, really kind of interesting. Resin pens are cool. I've done some of those. I've done some glow-in-the-dark stuff. It's a cool little thing to do. It's just not something that I like to do, full time. But I wanted to do. I've got a friend who's learning to turn and is starting on pens and simple bowls, simple forms. And at some point, we're going to get together and turn together. She, her husband, and I, and I don't know, toss out some pens and stuff like that. But since I haven't turned a pen yet on this broadcast, I figured I would throw a couple down and see what comes out. And I can show you the process of how I do things with the lathe here, or on the lathe, with turning pens. That's the idea. We'll see. Since that's kind of, well, I'm not switching gears per se. I hadn't thought that I would do another box that was as similarly built as the last two. But this one is probably a little bit more involved, the idea I have, so we'll see how long it takes, but I'm assuming I should have time for at least one time. And whatever I don't get to tonight, I get to tomorrow. That down. Double check that good. Oh, that'll work. Probably got too much there, but I figure what I don't use today, I'll already have started and use for the next another project, not necessarily the next one. Who knows, it might even be another box. Speaking of which, if you are a member of AAW, there's a call to artists at AAW for artwork that fits inside a 6 by 6 inch by 6 inch cube and is a box, or a concept of a box, which I myself don't understand that statement, concept of a box. But so I had a pretty cool idea I want to try. But anyway, or to submit. But I wanted to put that out there. If you're not aware, AAW does have a call to art, or call for art out there right now. So you should check that out if you're into that. I cannot remember what the awards are and all that stuff. There's also an opportunity to sell your artwork at the show. But all the details are on the AW website. Deep that is 2 inches. Is that the sleeve I want? I think I'll go a little bit deeper there. Which means, I guess, I'll need to move a little closer. My tool is getting near the end of its life. But as a spindle gouge, it was definitely at the end of its life, so we'll have to extend it for a little while. I need to get in there a little bit more than that. Clear. Yep. That's what I'm going to do either. So I will probably need to spin this around unless I can get it just and get a little bit more. Let's see, where did I set that, dude? There's the flashlight. I guess I'll go after that with this guy to start. See how far that got me. Just about 2.5 inches, but I need to get a 1/4 inch skew. Since it has a straight shaft, I can run right along the wall there. Take that deeper. Oh, I just took it all the way down. All right. Let's check my parallelity. That's a sight better. Let's see, that looks like, let me grab a little bit filler. To give me an idea of how much room I have on my inner sleeve. Well, quite a bit. Okay. Trying to decide if I make that thinner or not. I don't want to make it too thin. You know, I'll leave it how it is. I don't want to make it too thin because we are in spindle orientation. And even though this stuff will be attached together, if there's any splits along here, it is red cedar. That might open up. Otherwise, if it was too thin, it would still be captured, but I think we will just go for that wall thickness, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. Let's go for an 1/8. Looks like 3/16 to me. So let's do an 1/8 of an inch, or close to it. Almost, but not quite. Almost, but not quite. Maybe this next run. Wiley Smiley Kylie says howdy. TC Smo says howdy Dave. Howdy folks. How you doing? Hope your day's going all right. So let's check that again. It looks like it is pretty much right on, so I'll take it. Okay. clean this up. Well, actually, I don't need to do it that way. I can do it this way. Which means I need a mask. Howdy, mask. And one of these guys. Oh, duh. How did I forget that? I happen to have Rex Sanders. Oh, I don't know why I did that yet. Got a little more work to do on this. Not go high enough. Let's see, maybe. Wow. So if we look at that, it's close, man. It's really close. So not using a lot of pressure, just basically it's the weight of the tool. Check it against my ways here. I can get a little bit more. There we go. So this part is a little bit tricky to make sure that I'm not putting tons of pressure against this cedar. Two reasons. One is I don't want to burn the wood, and two, I don't want to crush this dude. I don't want to break it. You know, it's a eighth of an inch wall thickness, more or less. Well, I'm going to call it an eighth. What does this say? It's at eighth. So, eighth of an inch. And even though it's fairly rigid, and this piece does not have cracks and splits in it, it does have knots. And some of these knots have cracks and splits in them. I'm just giving it just enough pressure to keep the tool, or whatever, in this case sandpaper, up against the cedar. I do know that if you're too forceful with cedar, it's a softer wood. It will burnish really, really fast. It will burn, and if that's not the effect you're intending, oh, I should grab that piece. Yes. Okay. And then my advice is to ease up on it a bit. Okay. Now that has died down. I don't need these yet. Let's see. I can cut that dude later. Let's just call it 2.5, shall we? Is that a good... What was this guy? Only 2. I think a 3-inch box, because it's going to be kind of narrow. Yeah, I'll just do 2.5 for the outer sleeve, which then will should give me about a 3-inch box. Pencil. So we'll say we'll be in that neighborhood. And that will be a little bit long. Okay, what is that? Cross knots. So there's a knot there. Doesn't quite hit that knot, but it's close. I can't shift down one way or the other. If I shift down here to avoid that one, I'll clip that one, avoid that one, but that same distance will put me right there. So, this looks like the best part. Oh yes, you want to go through. I don't think I'm going to let you in. It puts me right there. Hody-dody-do. Okay. So that's my outer sleeve. I do know that I'm going to do some piercing through it. So I should help myself out here and leave that attached. So it'll be easier to do just that. A little bit later, where the heck did my key go? Okay, where did I put you? I think you fell off into the shavings. There it is. Okay, so this one's marked for this spot in the jaws. I can take that guy out. And that puts me just above that on the inside. Very good. All right, let's set this aside. I will grab this guy next. That's concave. And that's got my center mark, so that'll be the side I use. So on this one, I'm going to have to put on a mask as well. All of this beetle dust in here. Oh, speaking of which, I probably be really smart to go grab the filter I should have on my computer right now. So I'll be back in front of the camera momentarily. I need to get a little piece of microfiber cloth to cover that air intake for the cooling fan. Which I'm pretty sure is right there. Sorry about this, folks. Hope you bear with me. That's not going to work. There we go. So if you get tuned in early to the start of the broadcast, a little bit early, I was getting some blanks ready for pen turning. I had some rosewood. It was just a cut off of the side of a log, or just a wild looking cut off like this guy is. That's a piece of rosewood. I didn't use this one because this big long crack. I'm just going to pry all that off. I don't know. I might be able to use this for a finial at some point, but it was just a gnarly piece like that. That for some reason I have moved. Oh, there we are. Moved out of my reach. So gnarly. It was a triangular piece. The pen kits that I have call for a 3/4 inch stock, but I've done a couple of these pens. The tube is 7 millimeters, so you know I've got plenty here to work with on the pen. I've got another piece of 3/4 inch stock. This is 5/8, so it's close. But you don't actually have to. I would say if you're turning pens like you're starting off, give yourself a break and go for the 3/4 inch blank, because it gives you more to take away once you get. And I'm not sure. Let's see. Orange Dan 76 turns a lot of pens. He's here also on Twitch. He may even stop by this evening. He does that occasionally. I'm not sure. He might agree with me. You know, the more comfortable you get, the smaller stock you can use. Okay, where did we set you? We set you there. So let's get a measurement on this guy. Don't need that. I think I was close. Yep, I was close. That would be too thin. That would be probably just about right. So a little fatter than that. So I can take off a little bit. So let's get this inner sleeve set. Let's turn this guy around first. No, that came out the way I wanted it to. Let's see. Let's put. First, I want to see. I'm hoping it doesn't fix the rotation problem by doing this. I just want to give myself a little bit of support so I can screw that up. So hopefully it doesn't take the wobble out of it. Doesn't look, well, it might take him a little bit, but let's get this guy through that throwing tool. Oh no, that would work. Yes, your everyday, ordinary ball gown. Oh yeah. Okay. So I definitely need a mask for this guy. I said that earlier and spaced it out. Usually when or at least I've tried to do this in the past, when I'm turning something like this, it's got a lot of beetle damage and beetle dust. I like to have the door open, a fan going, several fans going, everything going outside as much as possible, and they still wear a mask. I mean, we're basically dealing with bug poop, right? Sharp tools, man. Sharp tools are the bomb. This is funny. I just realized again. I'm turning at 400 right now. All that matters is that you adjust your speed to the speed of the lathe and what you're working with. I honestly, really, really believe that a faster lathe does not make you a better turner. Let's see, there's a split there, I think. Okay, let me think about this now. This has got to fit on the inside. Am I building this the same way again? I don't want to build this the same way. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm turning the bottom portion first. And I'm kind of turning it the same way. That's a drag. Not what I had intended. This is going to slip down. Okay, well, we'll just go with it. It's not what I had intended, but this also isn't quite thick enough to do the outer part of the bottom of the box as I was envisioning. It would only give me about, well, it would be enough for this. Maybe. You know what? I'm going to take this down. That wall will go away. Almost. Let's see, here it is. I'll tell you right now, the wood doesn't want to be cut this way. It wants to go the other direction. So I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, it's a light touch. They're not dealing with that wobble now. At least till right about there. Now that's gone. So don't necessarily have to have the tailstock as support, but I'm not afraid to grab it if I think I need the support. If you don't feel comfortable turning without support, then don't. Be safe. Be safe until, well, be safe the entire time. There will come a time where your tool skills and skills at the lathe will catch up. And this is a very, very hard piece of wood. It doesn't have a lot of wobble to it now. So being out here is not such a big deal. It's not like it's a really thin diameter either. This is You know what? 2 3/4 inches. 2 3/4. So I'm almost to the size I need to be. Yeah, I think I'll make a couple more passes. I guess I could speed the lathe up if I really wanted to. There we go. It's a really good fit too. I think my wall here is probably still a little bit way down on the bottom. A little bit curved in just a bit. But that is a really nice fit so far. Let's see if I can get it all the way in. Let's mark that. Cancel. Somewhere in there. Well, I could check the. You know what? Let's do that too. So I suspect that it's the inside of that that is a little trifle conical. Let's see what this looks like. It's pretty straight. It's just slightly. So I'm going to work this. Because that slightly could have been just, there we are. Yep, it was this piece. All right, let's mark that to make sure I'm getting the depth that I'm after. Come on. All right, so it is a tad bit in there too. Let's mark that so I can get a measurement of that. It looks like it's going to be about 2 inches. I want a little bit more than that. Yep. For giggle, let's take a look at this again. That's pretty straight. So it'd be a little bit more work on the cedar, I think. Okay, that is the inner sleeve. There's a little bit of a lip there, that's why. All right, we'll resolve that issue very quickly. So that will seat all the way in. Let's see now. And I do want to get rid of, come on, some of the cracks and splits that are on the end here. Although now that I've taken it down in diameter, it looks like I may have gotten rid of those. There's this guy that I'm not, no, that's got beetle dirt in it, so that's a beetle track. You know what, never mind. There was a little bit of a split on the outside here somewhere that was easy to see, but it must have just been in the outer diameter. I did take this down about 1/8 of an inch or so, so maybe it was only that deep. That'll work. Okay, we need to hollow this guy. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I want to do this a different direction because I want to be able to fit it all the way. Bottom cap, and the bottom cap is going to capture this. I'm going to possibly make a collar this time, but I'm not sure. So let's remove this guy. And just dress up that last little third on the inside there. Should be running true. Okay. What I want to do is I want to put like a lesson plan together for this, because a 5-part box makes things a little bit easier trying to turn a box. When you're a new turner anyway. Okay. You can be my third hand for a minute. Okay, where's my mark? There's my mark. Still got about 3/8 of an inch in the bottom there, so let's see about touching that up. And, I mean, you can use scrap on the shop for every single bit of this thing. Yep, I need that third hand apparently. Not in real life, I think that'd be weird, but oh, actually I think I am at the bottom. That's just 3 inches. Yep, that is the bottom. Okay, cool. I'm all set here. That is a good thing. So decide, I was going to leave this together so I could do the carving, so we're not going to cut that off yet. my mark. There it is. See about getting this back in the truck the same way it came out. Some mighty dusty stuff, man. In and true. Yep. Why, yes it is. Okay, so I can play around with this. I've got, let's say 2.5, right? So 2 and 9/16, 2.5. If I want to capture both of them, that's a really nice tight fit. I'm going to take this off and spin this dude around. Although that's a split. That's spalting line. I may have to make, actually I'm going to have to make, okay, so my idea wasn't going to work out in the first place. For one, I don't have enough meat here to do the bottom part of it and the inner sleeve as one piece, which is what I've really taken a look at and trying that out, because this just isn't wide enough. So I'll have to make my end caps out of something else. So I have red cedar. This guy, I want something that's kind of in between. But hey, while we're at it, let's hollow this dude out and get it off the lid. Put the mask back on. How we doing on time here? 9 o'clock, okay. Oh, that's some smelly stuff. Come here. Alright, so I'm only going to get so far with this tonight, so I will finish this stuff and then we're going to move on to pen making. I want this guy, but not yet. I mean, yeah, it's hard enough. Nope. Thinking about hauling it by hand, but I really don't want to put pressure against the outside of it from the inside because there's so many beetle tracks. I'm not trying to make it paper thin, but thin enough. And if I try to hollow it with a gouge or something like that, you're going to stand a chance of breaking it open. As always, a reminder that this is live and interactive, so if you have any questions, please throw them in chat. I do pay attention to chat. Appreciate you joining me this evening. If you haven't already, please support the channel by following the channel and dropping a message in chat. Could be as simple as hi. That would really, really be helpful. I'd certainly appreciate it. And also, as always, you can catch all the past broadcasts on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dave Rife. Please like and subscribe. And thank you again. Cool thing is, the more people we get chatting on these platforms, the more interest there appears to be. And so the more accounts that channels like this get in front of that wouldn't otherwise. So that's why I asked if you participate in chat with me. I would certainly appreciate it. It helps get the channel out in front of more people. I want to reach as many people as I can. Woodturning is, in my opinion anyway, a very relaxing and enjoyable endeavor. As with everything else, it takes practice and time, but I find it to be very, very enjoyable. I think that's about, at least I hope so anyway, about 3 inches in depth. Not paying attention over here to the quill. See all that beetle dust. Ooh, I don't want to breathe that. Three inches. Exactly. Okay, swap this guy out. There's many ways to do this. I'm just choosing this particular way because of the material that I'm working with. If it was a more solid, maybe even denser piece of wood, nice piece of maple with no blemishes or whatever, I would hollow it a different way, probably with a gouge, most likely. Unless, of course, it's a deeper hole, in which case, I'll grab the hollowing system. Woo, that's warm. This time I do believe we can pay attention to the quill. And besides, this process makes it so much easier to get the inside all parallel. Which I guess on the very inside of the box is not that big a deal, but it's also a fairly smooth wall. And all the pressure from the Fortuner bit is going this way. The grain is also going that way, so they're pushing against each other and it helps support each other. All that fun stuff. Alright, let's move this aside. That aside. And I think the main reason, actually, it is the main reason. I want to calm this dust down, man. That's the main reason. Calm it down and move on to something else. I honestly forgot how much beetle dust comes out of these elm pieces that I've got from up here sometimes. And it's a lot. But with a fairly even and thin wall thickness, I should be able to highlight all those and really get it to shine or show very nicely through the carving I'll do on the cedar. It's a little too high. Take that about there. And I do want to speed this one up. Yeah, it sure is a lot of dust, man. Probably not going to get super thin with this guy. But only because it's kind of Swiss cheese. Can't tell where I'm hitting. Oh, at the bottom. Okay. There's my wall. It's actually fairly straight. Again, not a huge deal as far as the inside of the box, but check my wall there. I'm pretty sure it's conical now. Yep. And then I'll take a brush to these and most likely my air compressor and work on cleaning these out and blowing them out. I still got a ways to go here. Whoops, don't you go nowhere. No tools falling down today. Okay, a little bit more. So I'll have basically about an 1/8 of an inch wall thickness here too. No, well, definitely. I think, yeah, I'm going to finish this box tomorrow evening. Hopefully that took care of it. Yep. Alright, so I am 3 1/4. Yeah, you see it split there, but that was a beetle tunnel, so that'll hold itself together on the inside of that cedar. But that right there is what I was worried about. It won't be an issue now because I'm done with this. In fact, I think, I am going to sand this, so I'll do that now. I'm not going to part it off yet or cut it off yet. What'd you do with it? There it is, dude. Because it might be easier to deal with cleaning it by having that third hand. Probably, now that I'm thinking about it, should have left it a little bit rough, but using the brush on that will roughen that up a little bit. That's going to show through. It'd be awesome if I could gild all of that. That would be amazing, but I don't think I can gild the things that small with my skill level and have them show up nice. So I'll figure out how else I want to highlight them. I may ink it once it's cleaned out, maybe, and then sand that. Ooh, if I can get away with that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. My brain is moving on the pen. Leave that guy right there. That's my mark, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's get that guy out of there. Alright, so that'll be the inner sleeve. You see all the beetle. Oh, that camera's not even on. Whoops. There we go. So I think you can see all the beetle tracks in there. It's just all this wood is just riddled with it. I think that'll be really, really neat if I can get all those cleaned out pretty well. I think that'll be a really, really neat feature on the finished box. So I don't need this guy anymore today, since we are working with smaller pieces of timber. Set these guys aside for now. I'm kind of taking my time, killing a little bit of time to give some of this a little bit more time for the dust to settle. So I'll keep my mask on for a little bit. Let's see, where's my pin jobs? There they are. So anyway, as I said earlier, if you tuned in earlier, I think I started, I don't know, probably 7:30, because I wanted to get a couple things ready, and I figured what the heck, I'd get this piece of rosewood ready to go too, and it was just like just a cut off, cast off kind of piece, but it was enough to get a pen blank out of. So you can catch the recording on YouTube and watch that part at your leisure. Okay, I think I can take that off. Whew, okay. So I don't need my pen manual yet. I have, these kits did not have instructions in them, but I downloaded the instructions, and in fact, if I do this, I can read the instructions on my computer because, well, I mean, that's where they were in the first place when I downloaded the PDF. And I had intended on printing earlier, but I need to buy ink. Apparently, it wouldn't let me print with a low cyan container, even though I just wanted black and white. Cyan apparently has to be part of that mix. I always thought printers use the black for black, but apparently they mix the colors too to get black. Cutting and drilling the pen blank. Yes. So they talk about in the instructions of drilling this out at 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. And you know, I set my lathe to 2,000 RPM for buffing, but I have to date not drilled anything faster than about 800. So that should be pretty good, right? Ooh, what is that? It is but a tool mark, not a problem on the outside. So first things first, we'll make sure it's running fairly true. And it is running fairly true. And I put away my Jacob's chuck with that hot bit in it. I should have taken the bit out, because I need the Jacob's chuck for my 7mm. So actually, before I do this, let's go over this a little bit more step by step, shall we? I don't have paper instructions in front of me, but let me look over here. I didn't have it in my, and I'm sure it's because I've not turned one of these kits before, but I didn't have the instructions for this particular pen kit in my possibles box, I guess I'm going to call it. It has all the ferrules and all that stuff in it. There are some instructions in there, a couple of spare parts, but the instructions for that are not actually in there. Let's see. I've got some, or I had a file for them. Let's see, where's that file up here? That's all the owner's manuals. I can't reach the file. All right, so we'll just pull this one out and give you an idea of what it looks like. Basically, just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, right? Standard, with the instructions on front and back. And I highly recommend that you read before you start doing anything. That you read the instructions. Oh, I got the slimline though, so that's close. I think slimline was 7mm. I've got another one. I've got two pen kits. One is a European style, and the other one is, I think, 7mm slimline. So these will work. So basically, you get a sheet of instructions that may or may not, in my experience, may or may not be easy to follow. So I highly recommend that you read the instructions before you start, so you have at least an idea of possibly of what the author's talking about here on these sheets. We're not going to use this particular one. I've got it in front of me here. Culling and drilling the pen blank. So they recommend that if you want the grain to line up, wherever you're going to, wait, back up, Dave. Let's get the pen kit out. Let's get rid of this stuff too. Nope, that stays. And I know there's people that have been turning pens for a while. They've got it down, so they just buy the brass tubes and all that stuff, do their own thing. You can buy the kits, right? This came from Craft Supply, this particular one. I'm going to say that because that's where I found the instructions. I did not find them on PSI Woodworking or Woodcraft. So it comes with all the pieces, parts. This is what we're most concerned with right now, is these two brass tubes. And let me see if I can do this here. Can I do this? I cannot. No. I was hoping to be able to switch between applications on my computer so I can see on the screen where I'm holding these up. So these particular brass tubes for this pen, which is the European style, I believe, are the same length. They're not all like that. The slim line here has got a longer one, a long one and a short one. And if I recall, I probably don't, but I have the instructions here. So if I recall, the longer tube goes in the top. I could be wrong though. I know part of it is a twist mechanism, which you can't see here because I'm not holding it right, but there's a twist mechanism for the slimline pen. I'll have to figure that out once I get the blanks cut, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We'll do this pen first. So that's the twist mechanism. That's the ends and a bezel, the little clip for the pocket, and I did not see a spring. There's no spring in this. I don't know that it matters, but it might, because the spring may be what helps keep this back. So I don't know. We'll press forward. I don't. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the instructions here, which I can. Oh, I can do. Supplies needed. Yes. Mando set. Assemble the parts. Doesn't say anything about spring. Does it even show a spring? It does not show a spring, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, good. I've seen twist pens that have springs in them to help push the thing back and keep it out. Apparently this piece is just friction fit into the mechanism, and then when you place the refill, you pull it out of that little cap there that is press fit in. That's my guess. We'll set that aside because we really need to worry about, well, I don't need to worry about these yet. I will keep them out though because I want to take a bit of 220. Sometimes the kits will have the brass textured for you. These are smooth. Since we're going to be gluing them in place, we don't want them smooth. So I'm going to use this sandpaper to rough up the outside so that when this slides into the blank here, the glue will have something to purchase on, or something more to purchase on than just a smooth brass. And on this particular build, I'm just going to use CA glue throughout the whole thing. There are other options. Gorilla Glue. The Gorilla Glue works really, really well. It holds things a whole lot better than the CA glue. You still want to rough things up, but you can use epoxy. Gorilla Glue works really, really well. And it's pretty much, I don't know, water activated, I guess you could say, because it'll start bubbling and hardening up when it gets a little wet. But it is waterproof. And it does foam up a little bit, so it does help fill in any other small gaps that maybe epoxy or CA glue might not. Just a guess on my part. But we're just going to use CA glue. Okay, so those are now roughed up. Now I can set them aside. They're ready for gluing. On this blank, I really don't have to do much as far as really all I needed to do was to round this out. I swear that looks like a break, but it could be a skate. I don't know. That might be a skate. That is, it's hard to say. These are the bushings and ferrules that I will be using when I put all these parts together on the mandrel. So let me show you the mandrel, at least the one that I prefer to use. There are several different kinds. I'm probably looking in the wrong drawers here. Yes, there's one. Where's my brass boy? Or did I keep it for the other mandrel? Well, we will check the other mandrel. So this is a mandrel type. There's a bit of brass that goes on the end. This end is conical. Your tailstock is supposed to go up in there to help keep things steady. But I decided to get something a little bit more, in my opinion, robust. And I just need to find that. I probably overlooked it in the other one. Let me look one more time. Oh, you know, it could be on the top. Nope. Not there, it should be. There it is. I did overlook it. So this mandrel came from PSI Woodworking. This one may have too. They you know, craft supplies, all that. They all tend to have similar items. Some might have a little bit different. Whoa! No! Oh, good, you didn't disappear. Why did that come off? It should not have come off. So in this case, it doesn't have a place for you to set your tailstock into. This goes in your tailstock, and this rod slides in. So that is a really, really secure hold between the centers. So this particular mandrel, I think, is very, very, very handy, very helpful to use. And it's a lot more user-friendly than this guy. This guy can kind of, especially if you got a little too much pressure against from the tailstock, it can wobble and things can wind up not quite round or centered. Let's see, this guy went up here. And I have taken off, there it is. So this little brass dude, with the use of these spacers and ferrules, lets you put your pen blanks on there and then tighten this down, and that squeezes everything together. You can add or take away spacers as you need to get the right distance, because you only got about an inch of thread there. But then again, the tailstock fits right into the end. It's conical, so this does extend out. You can open this up and make a longer mandrel, but the longer it is, the more it wants to wobble on this end, because it's not really super secure. It's only held in by your point. So it's a good mandrel, but better mandrel, in my opinion, is this one, much more stable. Especially for new turners, much more stable. So we're going to whip this dude out here in just a little bit. I just wanted to show that pretty quickly, because I need to drill this hole. I can't remember if that was 7mm. Let's find out. Does it say? Sort of. 7. It is a 7mm, so I could use that bit if I want. And I do, because it's longer. So let me set that aside over here, that over here. I don't need the slimline instructions right now. Let's get to drilling. So I'm not going to drill this at 2,000 or 3,000 RPM. Just going to drill it at slow speed. And a thought just occurred to me that it would be nice to know what depth I need to hit. So I will take those 2 pieces of brass, which I apparently have moved to someplace else. There they are, right in that bowl. And I will set them up here and measure that out. So we'll say about the length of that bit will give me, and maybe a little bit more, will give me enough to be able to part off relatively in the center, since those 2 brass pieces are the same length, and have 2 pieces to glue together and get ready to put on the mandrel. So I'm going to get started. Yeah, Dave, you said 400. There you go. So I've already got the dimple started. That came from the live and drive centers. I just want to get it started. Don't need to put a lot of pressure on it. I really just, especially since I've got a thinner piece of material here, Just want to go as fast as it can cut. We want to clear out shavings as we go. Doing this bit really is important to have sharp bits. And we are going to squeak for a while. But the drill bit's heating up a little bit, and the rosewood is heating up just a little bit. I don't want to use wax to lubricate it because I need to glue the tubes to the inside of these pieces. So the wax would kind of keep the glue from sticking. Whoops, at the end of my quill. And there we are. So, having just done this, it can be difficult sometimes to get a straight hole because the drill bit's going to want to wander. It's going to go wherever the wood grain wants to take it. So doing things like this, and I just drilled all the way through. But it could help you a lot if you actually just drill the shorter sections. I'm going to wind up putting this on a mandrel. It's very possible that it's not, which, you know, would, with the thicker piece of material, that would help if the drill bit wanders. So you can consider, you know, no, I don't want to drill all. Do I want to drill it all the way through? I don't know. Consider just drilling the smaller cut sections. I don't have that much further to go, but that could be something else perhaps. And then the drill bit won't necessarily want to wander as much. Doesn't mean it won't wander. With two shorter pieces, it's a little bit easier to get them centered on the mandrel, especially for newer pin turners. Sit. So I'm just drilling the hole a little bit deeper by hand. Since the part that's powered is on that side. There we go. That should do. I'm not entirely sure if that brad point on this type of bit helps keep it from wandering or not. I'm not really sure about that. I do need to get my depth though before I put this away. Back here. So that's my depth. If I take my two brass pieces here, I've got plenty of material on both ends to trim down to make them true. So that's plenty of material there. I'm going to part that off and cut it in half, and we'll glue things up and put them on a mandrel. Pen turning lathes are pretty nice for, I mean, they're meant to be on a surface, tabletop, desktop, whatever. Perfect size for turning pens, man. But you turn pens on a large machine. What am I doing with the Jacobs chuck? I am going to set it right there. And just so I have some, actually, you know what? I don't even need to worry about that. This is what I need. This will make it easy. So I know that is basically my final depth for my drill bit. Oh yeah, I did not realize, but this grain on this particular piece is at an angle. And it'll make it look pretty doggone cool, but that I will get with the skew. But again, it adds difficulty to the drilling process. I didn't realize it was kind of at an angle. I should have looked at that. You really want to get as straight a grain as you can get. It makes it a lot easier to work with. The tubes and all that. Where did you go? There you are. Get back up there. I think that's the guy. And there we go. There's the hole. Yeah, it's pretty centered. It's close. There's still enough meat on there for me to turn it away and make the contour that I want to make. Why did I lose chat? I lost chat. Okay. So nothing new on chat. So I'm going to say somewhere right in there. That will be good enough. I know there's a bunch of pen turners out there. Everybody's got a little bit different way of doing things. And nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got a different take on the pens. And clearly, there are several markets for it. I mean, if what I hear is correct, there's a pen turner, I guess in Texas, although it is in Texas, gets hundreds of dollars, sometimes $1,000 for his pens. So there are markets at different levels apparently out there. I'm not sure who his clientele is, but Texas was an oil state, wasn't it? Wasn't that where Dallas was made? Ha 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 ha. You know, the TV show. Boy, they were the Ewings. Yeah, the Ewings. I did not watch that show religiously. I did catch it every once in a while. I did and still do like Larry Hagman as an actor. Patrick Duffy he was all right. I don't really remember much about the Gals of Dallas, I guess, but they weren't really all that memorable to me. So probably because they it reminded me of my ex-wife. Alrighty then. All right, so mandrel. We'll set this guy in there. So with this live center, I can adjust the length anywhere I need to, which is always a groovy thing. And I think that, at least I hope not, I may have lost a, oh, you know what, I can put those, yep, I lost one. I lost a spacer, that's okay. I have a few of these. So let's take a look at the spacers that we need for the European pen turning kit. And that is this guy. So the spacers not only help keep things, in general geographic placement and all that, they also help you determine how the wall thickness of your pen. Is that the same diameter? Oh, I guess it is. And this looks like it would be the middle of that, which is odd. What's this guy for? It doesn't fit over that. Looks like it fits right over that though. And it does. That's interesting. Let's take a look at the destructions, shall we? We gotta glue first since we're following along with the instructions. Let me set these down. And let me also grab some glue. I didn't grab any medium. Medium thick will work. Five-minute epoxy works pretty well. Like I said, Gorilla Glue works really well. And I'll be using the CA glue today. Now, there is a tool that you can buy, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like a tube setting tool or something like that. But it's a 3-4 inch, maybe even a 5-inch piece of steel like this, but it's conical, and it will fit into the end of your tube so that you don't have to try to handle it, and then you can use that to scoot it through the wood and get the glue set up in there. This seems to move in pretty easy, so I'm going to say that that's wild. Usually when maybe that's not even true too. A lot of the time when I have drilled pen blanks, the tubes are a fairly snug fit. These are not. They spin pretty freely. They're not like, jangling around loose, but they are looser than what I remember turning my last few pens on. So, but it's possible that, they get the drill bits and the brass just slightly off, mass manufacturing, all that kind of thing. I think I'm going to use this in the hopes that I'm not going to stick to anything. And I just want to put some glue on this dude. Assuming my hole's not plugged. Just not. Getting air out. Did it set up? Nope. Just moving kind of slow. Hey, get back here. So it doesn't take a ton of glue. And when we insert it into the blank, we're going to want to twist the brass. Or twist the wood, whichever. Get that glue all the way around the outside, pushed in all the way. This is why I got this paper towel. So I think I want to push that in just a little bit more. So that it's centered there. And then we'll glue this guy. And I usually just run 1 or 2 lines down the side because the twisting motion is what actually gets it spread around. I don't think you gotta make a bunch of weird movements to get the glue all the way around the outside of the tube. That glue off there. Push that in just a little bit more. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to hit with accelerator and let them sit for just a little bit. Whatever you do, don't hit the accelerator into the wood and then try to twist those in. It doesn't work. Ask me why I know, or you can ask me how I know if you want to. It doesn't work as well because it wants to start setting up right away as soon as they touch. So we're going to take this guy out. We're going to need to trim these up so that they are flush with the brass. And I'm about to show you how I do that. They sell tools that you can trim the wood down, and they sell brass trimming tools too. You can trim the brass down if it needs to be done a little bit. With most pen kits, though, as far as I'm aware, the brass tubes are the optimal length for the mechanism that they are supporting. We're almost to the point where we're at manual setup, but we're going to take that guy off there. So you can trim them by hand, you can trim them with a drill press, or you can do this. And I can get rid of this guy. Sorry, I got to take this glove off. Come on. Need a Jacob's chuck, which I have. And this guy. And I lost chat again. There it is. How we doing? 10 o'clock. Okay, cool. So it's just a backer pad with some abrasive on it. And the backer pad itself is flat. This is another reason why I made this little table for my banjo. And I think I'll go with 150. We'll do 180 then. Since 180 was a lot closer. And I will square up the ends. Now you want to make sure that when you're squaring up these ends to the brass, if you're doing it this way, you need to rotate your workpiece so that the surface stays level. You can get a bevel in it. Whoops, daisy. Oh, I forgot that part. Doggone it. Gotta get my keeper in there so my Jacob strap does not come out of the headstock, as it was just doing. Wrong one. So I just want to trim it down, and if I can get close enough without blurring this out, you can kind of see the lip of the brass tube in there. Let's see if I can get it closer to the center of the screen. I just want to get right to the lip of that brass tube on the inside. I don't want to trim it because it will change the dynamics of the mechanism inside the pen. The tubes are cut to work with the ink refill and the mechanism that it comes with. Okay, so I just got right to that brass lip there on that guy. So then I'll just do both of these. You will thank yourself later because everything will fit a lot better. You just need to trim them flush, the wood flush with the brass tube. So that one's done. It doesn't take long. Almost there. I had a root canal today, man. Not doing too bad with that. At least that pain is gone. There we are, right to the shoulder. Quite a ways to go with that one. You definitely do want to sneak up on, when you're trimming these. Like I said, you don't want to cut those brass tubes short. The pen won't go together well, and if it does go together, it won't work right. Okay, right to that shoulder. So pretty easy to trim. I don't have any of those trimming tools, but this was my workaround, and this is how I accomplished that same thing. And I don't have to buy a bunch of extra tools, but that's just me. Work with what you're comfortable with, what you think will help you. I don't really care for unitasking tools myself. Although there are some tools out there that are unitaskers, but they're made specifically for the job that they do, and so those unitaskers are amazing. But general unitaskers, I don't really like to spend my money on, like the. I might change my mind if I were to do, start turning pens on a regular basis. I might change my mind because that would speed things up for the production process. Especially if, like in my case, I would probably just buy the tubes and then make the get the kits, buy the tubes separately or however that works. And then just design things and then trim them as I needed to. Having those trim tools would be handy, I'm sure, at that point. But for small scale, man, I just don't see it. Okay, I need to go back now to the instructions because I'm not totally clear. Okay, so this says mandrel setup and turning, and this set of directions actually talks about the other mandrel that I have that I don't use rarely use it. This is the one I prefer to use now. And it says advanced a 60-degree revolving cone center into the dimpled end of the mandrel and tighten using like pressure. Do not, and that's in bold, over tighten the tailstock or mandrel nut, as this may cause the mandrel to flex, which is what I have come across. Can't remember. Yeah, okay. This doesn't change its length. What changes its length is the tailstock here. Cut a 1/8 inch wide tenon on the end of the short blank. Okay, so I'm clearly, must be the slim line then. So we are going to the slim line. The European must be, because that's what these instructions are for, must be talking about these tubes. So I'm now going to switch gears and get the instructions for the slimline pens. This will tell me, aha, there we go. Now it shows me where these belong. So this one belongs there. There's a bushing that goes in the center and a bushing that goes in the end. I am going to use this thinner bushing for the center. Well, I don't like doing it that way, but I'm going to do it this way. Get on there. So that where the pen comes together, because there will be a band that goes on it, actually gets glued on. And we'll get to that in a second. I want that. Why does that not meet? Oh, a little bit of glue there. Yeah, I don't like that. I prefer, this is my preference. When I'm using bushings like this, I want them to all be the same diameter. The bushings here are the end diameter that your pen needs to be for everything to fit together properly. This smaller one, I'm pretty sure, and this is for the European pen kit, I'm pretty sure it's meant to go in the center because the centers are supposed to be turned down, but I'm not positive about that. I can't use this guy. Where's that bag? Baggity bag. And my bushings are not in that one. Get back here. So I want to put these bushings back in their bag so I don't lose them because I'm borrowing these guys. Where in the heck did that? There it is. The bag fell down and went boom. And there's the rest of my bushings. Let's see how close they are to the same diameter. So they're about the same diameter as this smaller one in the center, it appears. Nope, they're even smaller diameter than that. That's interesting. Well, this is the end diameter that I need. So I'm going to use this bushing for in between the two pieces. Other piece, Dave, did you drop that? I think you did. I think it made it all the way to the shavings. That might be. No, what made it down there actually was a tool rest. All right, let's put those away in the bag so they don't get lost in the shavings, because we do not want that. Now I have to try to locate where I set that other piece, and I suspect that it fell off the lathe. So let's check over here. Do not see it. Where the heck did I set that? Why do I do this? Must have fallen. There it is. It did fall down there. Okay. So that keeps those centers from touching, and I can cut all the way across. I really like having all the bushings the same diameter though. So let me think this through. Oh, you know what? I have bushings myself also. So I'm sure in my kit of bushings, spare parts, that I will have one that is that diameter. So let's find out. Come on. We'll try this one first, which belongs with this kit. This looks like it's really close. That'll work. Done deal. So that means I can put my other bushings away. But not Joe's bushings. Joe's bushings are going to stay in the bag. That way they won't fall out of my mandrel case again. Okay, as I said, I prefer to have my bushings all match when I'm doing pens like this, because, and make sure, yep, that is the same diameter. Because as I'm working the outside of this piece, I don't want to go too thin in the middle. I don't want the wood pieces touching because they're going to skate past each other, and it'll be hard to jam them hard enough together to keep them from one spinning the other and not getting a good cut. So I want that spacer in there, and then as I go across my skew, which I'm going to use to make the shape, most of the shape, or most of the diameter down, will be able to float all the way across that same level on the blanks. And all the pressure comes from the headstock. Let's grab that particular tool rest. So, I guess you could say the sky's kind of the limit as far as what you do with design. You have to pay attention to all the pieces, parts, and let's pull those out again, that go with this piece and how they fit together. In particular, the pocket clip. So the pocket clip will kind of sit on the end, and there's a little cap here that gets pressed in to hold that in place. And if this is too wide, then the pocket clip won't sit properly on the 10. So you have to be sure, or you have to be aware of how things are fitting together. And if that means taking things apart and taking a look at it, so be it. I think doing that enough times gives you the practice eye to say, oh, that doesn't look right, I should do this. You don't have to do that in the future. But don't be afraid to do that. Make those changes. Make those adjustments. You'll always be, well, okay, I can't say you'll always be happier, but I would bet that you'll be happier with the results if you take your time to do the practice and check things out, double check. So these are, that one's still kind of spinning kind of free. So, so the spacers also kind of help. I mean, they do help push things together, but they also have the brass that's in there that's also helping keep everything together. I can't turn really, well, that one I can tighten it up just a little bit, but I can't really turn them by hand really easily. And I want that. I don't want them to turn easily, because if the tool hits it and they just sit there and spin, I'm never going to get a cut. I'm probably sitting way too high. And with pen turning, you don't have to use the small tools. You can if you want. So you can tell by the wobble of that one that the drill bit wandered just a little bit, but there's still plenty of meat there that I can turn away and true this up again. That's got me too high. And I could use my 1/4 inch screw on this because it's a smaller piece of material. Also, no reason you couldn't use a full-size tool as I'm doing now. So they do make, you know, varieties of pin tips. Some of them are a single tube. I may have seen one that had 3 tubes. I don't remember. Fountain pens. I mean, pretty much you name it. I like the single tube ones simply because it's a single piece of material that you're actually turning, as opposed to 2 or 3. But hey, let's do that. Let's grab the 1/4 inch screw. So those are pretty true. I don't want to get too thin yet. I know this is going to be the end, so the end, I've kind of got it tapered down a little bit that way, and this is where it's going in the pocket. So I've already kind of tapered this just a little bit on purpose. But I mean, this is the area where you do all the magic that you're going to do. I realize to make this tapered, well, I'm not actually going against the grain because it's in spindle orientation. really nice finish off the tool. Really nice finish off the tool. I'm very happy with that. Now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. Let's see. What does it say? Wrong piece of paper. Turning the blanks. Bushing, blank, bushing, blank, bushing. Yep, got that. Nope. Turn the blank down to a diameter slightly larger than the bushings. So I don't know if, what I'm trying to find out is if the ring itself is actually glued on. With the other instructions, you glue that center ring on, and I just want to be sure. Turn the blanks down, sand, blah, blah, blah. It does not say. Press the sleeve, press the band onto the opposite end. So again, like I said, make sure you read the instructions because they're not always super clear. They can get pretty frustrating pretty quick. So that just doesn't appear to be right to me for some reason. Let's take this off. I mean, clearly it came with the kit, but when I take that band off, oh, okay, so this band then is supposed to go on the end. These two are supposed to meet in the middle. Let's make sure they do that. So this one does not have a band in the center. Or maybe it does. We'll figure it out, but it looks like it's supposed to meet right in the center, so we're going to do that. This band doesn't look like it's the right size to me. But it could just be my walleye. So I'm looking at how far these pieces are both above the bushing. I just want them a little bit proud because sanding is going to take away some of the material. And I think I'm going to shape it a little bit more than it is, but what I have here is pretty much ready to start sanding. I got a really, really nice finish off the tool. Very, very, very important to keep your tools sharp. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. What I need to see is what this... I think it's possible that this band sits on this. Slide the band over the exposed. Okay, so that's... yep. So it sticks right there. So it's meant to slide down over this. It's dimpled out or press fit out, however you call that. It's got dimples pointing out to capture this dude. This does not sink all the way into your material. There's a little bit left sticking out that fits that this fits onto. So this brass or this dude right there will sit right on the end like that. And that's what'll keep it in place. All right, good. Good that we check these things. Because I was having trouble understanding why the middle band was so small. Okay, so we got that, and we got that, and you clear this up a little bit. That's a little fatter than I want it to be. Uh-oh. Well, that was the refill for the pen. I can get that in a minute. I really do like this manual because, like I say, everything stays true. There's no wiggle. I guess it would be if I was really cranking it down, but it's the rod itself is sliding through everything. It's that surface and the bushings that are pressing everything together. And we'll just stay turning it at 400. So putting everything right back together. Really nice finish off that tool. Putting everything back together. Even if like I took pieces off, everything's still going to be true when it goes back on. I have not had that fail me yet. We're also going to do a CA finish on this guy because I think that's pretty awesome too. How much time we got? 10:30. Good. We're just about there anyway. All right. Let's see. I think I want to give it a little bit more profile right in here. And I'm going to do that with my spindle gouge. That bit I'll do with the screw. So you do have to remember there is a brass tube down in there. If you cut through that wood, that brass tube is going to show. Another reason to use the mandrels that you have with the kit. There we go. I think I like that. So I want to do the same thing here. If I take a look at that dude, I really don't. So I'll just leave that the way it is. Actually, what I will do though, because this is rosewood, do I want to do it there? No, I want to have that smooth. So I'll do it here. And we'll do a series of beads here. We'll go right under the clip. The imagination, I mean, there's only so much material you got to work with, but the biggest limiter is your imagination. That looks nice. Stick with that. Need another piece of abrasive. We'll start off with 220. Actually, I got such a good finish off that tool. Well, let's take a look since I had to make some cuts. Yeah, I'll go with it. I was going to shift to 320, but let's stick with this. And work our way up to finer and finer bits. I'm not going to touch those beads. And, I got a really light hold on the sandpaper. It's not a bad fit. Yeah, I like the way that feels. You may need to contour it a little bit more. So I'll do that with the skewer, I hope. There we go. Perfect. Just use the corner of it to get right there. All right, now on to 320. And I'm just going to grab out the box of sandpaper sheets. That looks like 400. That's 320. Yay! And with anything else, surface prep is everything. I want the surface to be as nice as it could be before I put any finish on it. The finish can definitely highlight tool marks and stuff you may have left behind. I think I'll roll one more bead on there. One more. I don't know what it is. It's an odd number that I think it's in our DNA. And for some reason, even numbered beads and stuff like that don't look right. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird. Human beings are strange. Okay, I need to do one more thing here before I go any further because I just realized I should be fine, but I want to double check the fit of this. See, even with that, you can see that there's still quite a bit of meat there. That's not quite 1/8 of an inch, but it's close. So I could go down even further if I wanted to, as long as I don't touch that brass tube with the cutting tool and have it show up. What I do want to check though is how this pocket clip, how well it covers the end. Because I'll need to trim down the end of the top of the pen so that it doesn't hang out underneath the pocket clip. So I'll need to take that down a little bit more. So that means that my beads can stay right where they are. I just need to take this diameter down a little bit. Probably should have done that before I sanded, but hey. Actually, I don't even need that guy on there anymore. This is the only guy I've got to turn. So, how about give it just a little bit of the cove. Just a little bit of the cove here. And then on the upper end where it, there we go. I don't know if I can sneak this in there. Ooh, that was tough. So I got a little bit rounded off the end there, and that's going to be just about right, I think. Now I'm going to bring back, or at least I thought I was, that piece of 220, but I'm not going to because it has disappeared. So this gives just a little bit more space for the pocket clip and fabric, whatever it's being clipped to. Gives it a little bit more contour. Even though it's underneath, I mean, the pin clip will be riding across it. You'll still see the whole contour if you rotate the pen. So it gives it a little bit more contour, maybe a little bit more appeal, let's say. Okay, so that's 320. Go 400. That was also 320. Oh, that's all 320. Wrong batch. You can make all kinds of designs on your pens. There's, whatever suits your fancy. I don't know if I may give this pen away. All I know is I want to make it comfortable to write with. So I don't like a lot of little grippy stuff on the bottom because that tends to make my fingers get tired of holding that. So I prefer a smooth barrel. So that's why I'm making it smooth down here on this one. I've done beads all the way down to have a grippy surface. And that is because like the grips that they send with these sometimes are thin rubber cheap grippies that you're supposed to turn the pen down to be able to slide them on, and I would rather just put the texture into the material itself and not have to deal with that extra step. So there we have that. I need to put everything back together in the way that it needs to go. Nope, wrong direction, Dave. With the bushings, because now we're going to do a safe finish. That's as far as I needed to go, in my opinion. So I need to grab some toilet paper. I'm going to get a little bit of masking tape. Let's make sure that's running true. Masking tape, because I'm going to tape off the ends here and here so the glue doesn't go this way. It's all right if it goes down in here. I'll have a paper towel there, or two. But I want to try to cover these up. This one, usually I get glue on and then I got to clean it off. But if I only have to clean off one as opposed to, 3, that's always better, right? And I think I've got some masking tape in here. I could be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. It's not the thin stuff, but that's okay. Protect the lathe parts and stuff. These eventually do kind of get worn away and wear out, stuff like that, from sanding and the glue up process, and so they're frangible, I guess is the right word. They will need to be replaced occasionally. So far, I've only had to do that one time. And then I'll just put tape over here. It doesn't have to be super fancy or anything like that. I just want tape on it. Keep the glue off. The lathe parts, mostly. Okay, now that I got that done, time to get some thin CA glue. The accelerator's already out there. And some TP. Thin CA, there you are. There are a bunch of ways to do this too. In fact, I'm actually going to break this out, man. Hey, this will be the first time I get to break these out. How cool is that? So I've got some woodworker sponges here, which would be really nice if they are fine enough. 1500, 1000, 800. 240, 320. Yeah, these are, yeah, all right, cool. I get to use these now. How cool is that? Haven't had a chance yet. I got these from Vince's Wood and Wonders. He handed me, scissors, Dave, a pack of these in Tennessee at the Tennessee Symposium last year. And I have yet to have broken them out and used them. So let's stick with 500. We'll just cut in theory, unless these scissors really suck, which they do. I'll have to resharpen my knife. Okay, there's that. So this is a tip from Captain Eddie. Damn, I just had his last name right there on the tip of my tongue, and now it's Castellano. There we go, Captain Eddie Castellano. Turner on YouTube and turning long time. Does a lot of cool little turning things and demonstrations and tutorials and stuff like that. And when he does his CA finish like this, he uses toilet paper. And it works really nicely, as I was reminded by my friend, because I was having trouble using paper towels and stuff like that. But the toilet paper doesn't seem to, what's the word, give off fibers, whatever that word is. And I want to slow this way down. Some of this glue might come off on me. So what I want to do is I just want to put the glue on the paper towel itself, or the toilet paper itself. I'm going to flip it because there was still some dust on there that I didn't see. And then I'm going to rub that on the wood. I don't want to put it just directly on the wood so that it doesn't spray out all over the place. And paper towel helps keep everything fairly smooth. I'm glad I wore these gloves because it's sticking to me already. That's one glove down. There's another one right here, just waiting to be used. So I want that to dry or set, and I need to get my accelerate. And I'm betting it's probably already set. Yeah, I'm not, well, mostly. So I'm just going to give a little spritz, let that bleed off while I get some more toilet paper ready here. And I will do 3 or 4 coats, then do a little bit of sanding, a very light sanding, and then another 3 or 4 coats, and I'll do that 3 times. So basically 12 coats of CA glue. Just a number I picked on. Lots of people do lots of different things, different amounts, all that. I'm expecting this glue to set up really fast since I have already spritzed it. Woo, I can feel it on my glove, man. That's warm. Woo! Let that go for a sec. Double check, it should be dry already. Or set. Cured. There's the word, cured. I don't like using the word dry with this glue because it's not drying. So now I'll do coat number 3. And don't worry about getting it on the bushings. You'll be able to clean them off. You can start to see how it's building up a nice polish. I'll have to do just a really light sanding. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do the 600 on this one. So I'll do 4 coats. It's already set. Woo! Yeah, see the vapor coming off that, dude. So I'll do 4 coats of this, and then I'll hit it with the, what is this, 600, 5 to 600 grit. Smooth out any bubbles. Any kind of weirdness from the, whoop, it's not quite dry, cured. And of course, I just put a fingerprint on it. So let's do one more. So I put it on the towel, bring the towel to the wood. So it lessens the
Wow, okay, so I didn't realize this was already dead. I charged them up, but okay, that one clearly didn't make it. So sorry, I don't know how much of that you missed or didn't miss. I just happened to notice that the audio was gone. I have no idea where to pick up from. I'm sorry, but follow the instructions on your pen kits that come with it. If you don't understand the instructions, call the company, PSI Woodworking, whoever you bought it from. Most of them have pretty good customer service. As I was saying, I was talking to a guy at PSI Woodworking when I was turning pens, a few years back. It's been a couple of years since I've turned pens. Um, and it was just something I could not comprehend the directions. So I called them up. I said, I don't get this. I don't understand what you mean by what's being meant by this. And they put me through to the tech, to one of their techs, and he pulled out paper copies. And he looked at it and he goes, "Oh yeah, I can explain it." And he's looking at it and he goes, and he reads it and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're right. That is kind of confusing." Turns out he was the author of the paper of that particular set of instructions. He goes, "I'm so sorry." He said, "This is what I actually meant," and he explained it. And then I made the changes to my paper copy, and he made changes for every other copy that they put out. So that's always helpful to other turners too. If you don't understand it, because sometimes they're not totally clear, contact the company and get some help that way. But as far as turning pens, it's pretty straightforward. The hardest part is really paying attention to when you're pressing things together that they line up and they're fairly straight. You can get it cocked off where it's not going in straight, and that will sometimes split the pen, and especially if you're really trying to crank it down. But again, that's another reason why I use my tailstock to spin it down, because I can just slowly squeak it in and get things adjusted as I go. You can do it with a pen press too, but I don't own one, so I prefer to do it this way. It's something I don't need to spend money on. I have the equipment that I can use right here. So I want to thank you all again for joining me this evening. I hope you stay friendly. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening. We're getting close to midnight anyway. And I hope to see you tomorrow night or next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woodturning with Dave. Thanks a lot, folks, and good night.